Okay, welcome back everyone. I hope you had time to read the article. So now we're going to talk about dad jokes. So one of the most famous comedians for his dad jokes is probably Jerry Seinfeld. So in the 70s, he started his career as a stand-up comedian. And then since then, he had a starring role on a small TV show that became a little bit popular. But he's most well known for the TV show Seinfeld, which had a 9-year run from 1989 for 9 years. And so for many people, maybe of our generation and older, they would think that Seinfeld is one of the greatest TV shows that has ever existed. So the cast surrounded or was based on Jerry Seinfeld and 3 other main characters. And so each episode was based on kind of a funny real life situation that they kind of enhanced for a comedic effect. And so, as I said, it ran for 9 years until Jerry Seinfeld himself decided that he'd ran out of ideas. And the final episode was him sending everyone to prison very abruptly. And so since then, even though he's still a well-beloved comedian, he's actually got married and had 3 kids, the youngest of which has just turned 18. And so in his household, no one actually finds him funny, which might be quite shocking for you if you are a fan of Jerry Seinfeld. But his children seem to think that everything he is doing is for a bit, which makes him unfunny to them. And so it's kind of created this conversation about dad humor, dad jokes, and whether dad jokes are actually funny or not. So kind of up for debate maybe, whether Jerry Seinfeld is actually still funny or it's just his children that don't appreciate his humor anymore. So speaking of dads, what about your parents? Do you think they're funny?
I think they are super funny, and I there were times where I did feel that cringe, but as I got older, I think. My dad is an immigrant to America, so sometimes his jokes don't translate well. So only our family could understand him, but I could see other people be like, what's going on?
I don't get the joke.
Yeah.
So like a personalized sense of humor?
Yeah, so as we got older, then we could also relate to the other people being like, oh, they don't understand, so it's kind of weird. So, but I still think he's the funniest person. Like my dad and my mom, they're both really funny. So, yeah. How about you?
A little bit similar. My dad is also pretty funny. He's very good with puns and like double meanings of words. He's very quick-witted. Like he's very good at making jokes. But my mom is way more serious. So usually it used to be the 2 of us laughing and my mom being like, that's not funny. So she was definitely kind of like the grounding for both of us, being like, okay, maybe it wasn't actually that funny. Maybe it's just the 2 of us. So thinking about parents again, do you think that humor changes over the generations or?
Yes, like I said, when I was much younger, I thought everything my dad said was hilarious, and then I get older, and then I'm like, oh, maybe not.
The cringe comes in.
Yeah, and I've been seeing it, especially in America, maybe worldwide, some shift in what people think is offensive, and because therefore it being offensive, it's now not funny. I still think that it is. I mean, a joke is supposed to make you laugh, but sometimes people get their feelings hurt. So, yeah, I do think it changes. What is your opinion?
I think so too. I was going to say, when I was reading this question, I thought about the change in what people have thought is offensive. Like even things that I laughed at when I was at school now, I would not touch that subject anymore, but a kind of a case of maybe not knowing any better and also changing times. And then also I think that humor is subjective. Like many of the jokes that my parents would probably find funny are based on their experiences when they were younger. But because I don't have that experience, that joke doesn't make any sense to me. And so I guess it's the same with kind of like Gen Z, millennial humor. Our parents might not understand the punchline as much because that's not their lived experience. Like
or it has to be relatable in order for it to be funny. Yeah.
Okay, we hope that you enjoyed the article today. Make sure that you check out the vocabulary that is included, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Cringe.
Cringe.
Wannabe.
Wannabe.
Relatable.
Relatable.
Intersperse.
Intersperse.
Mockumentary.
Mockumentary.